The state of her creates space to reflect, reset, and rise. This is where clarity meets community. Don't miss an episode. Subscribe today on your favorite podcast platform. Follow us on social media at The States of Her HQ. Hey, beautiful. Welcome back to The States of Her with Keisha, the headquarters for real conversations and real growth. I'm your host, Keisha. Today, I want to ask you, what are you teaching people about you? Not what you say about yourself, not what you wish people understood about you, but what are your actions, your choices, and your patterns teaching people about you? People don't just listen to your words, they actually study your behavior too. They'll pay attention to what you respond to and what you ignore. And they will also look to see what you continue to accept from them and from other people. And they want to see like what you make excuses for too as well. So depending on your excuses, they'll run with that too, right? Sometimes without you realizing it, like we teach people things about ourselves that we never intended to teach them. We teach people what kind of access they have to us and how seriously it is for them to take our words. So, look, we let people know what we will and will not tolerate sometimes. We should not blame ourselves for someone else's bad behavior. Never do that. To each his own, right? People are responsible for their own behavior and their own choices. But there's power in asking ourselves this question. Is the way I am showing up today aligned with the way I want others to actually treat me? Because in order for you to grow, you must like start with awareness. So today, beautiful, let's have that conversation. One of the biggest lessons I've learned, people pay attention to your patterns. People believe patterns more than your promises. You could tell someone that you need respect from them, you need communication, and a little effort from them. But look, check this out. If you always answer the phone, no matter how someone treats you, you always answer that phone. From right there, they learn that they still have access to you just because you answer the phone for them. So if you're always forgiving to others without even seeing like a change, they will learn that the apologies to you are just enough. They don't have to work hard or do nothing. You good. So if you're the type that always put yourself last because you want to be a so-called people pleaser, people will become so comfortable with you always being available for them. So again, beautiful. This doesn't excuse anyone taking advantage of you. Just learn the patterns on how you are treated as well. This should have you like looking at your participation in it all. Period. Sometimes we are waiting for people to recognize our own value while we are constantly showing other people that we don't recognize it ourselves. So ask yourself, what have I been consistently allowing? Consistency teaches people what it is. That's it. If you are always consistent, that's what it is. If you're not, that's what it is. They will learn either way. So a lot of us women, like we're raised to be helpers, right? Hands down. We were taught to be nice and understanding to others. Try not to make people uncomfortable, but yet we uncomfortable. How real is that? They tell us to don't be difficult to people. Like what? But as time goes on, we learn how to care for everyone except ourselves. We struggle to take care of ourselves, but we know how to nurture everyone else so passionately. It's crazy. You see, there is a difference between being kind to others and like abandoning yourself for others. Kindness usually says, I want to help you and I love you. That's being kind, you know? And self-abandonment, it says this though. I have to help them because I don't want anyone upset with me. I will ignore my own needs to keep you. So you self-abandoning yourself. That's not cool, beautiful. There is a difference with all of this. You can be loving to anyone. You can have compassion for others and still say no without even feeling guilty. Like, what's wrong with saying no? We have a hard time saying no. I say no anytime. No, it's no problem. It is a word. And oh, that is a word. Use it. I don't see the problem. You can support people, right? But you don't have to like carry everything for them. It's like you have 4 bags. I'm gonna carry like 3 of them. You know what I'm saying? At least carry 3 and let me carry 1. You know? But the big question is, am I being generous or am I trying to earn my place in people's lives? Then we have like boundaries, right? Our boundaries, they're not punishments towards people because me personally, I see like boundaries more like information. Like I'm telling you how I am and you know what I want and don't want. Your boundaries, my boundaries, your boundaries, it will tell people what's going on with you and how you are. This is how I expect to be treated and what works for me, right? This is what I will no longer participate in. That's what your boundaries are telling people. Your boundaries will only work when they have action behind that. So don't say something and you don't stand 10 toes down on it. A boundary without action becomes a request to people. So make sure you like stand 10 toes down on that one. All right. So check this out, right? You saying I don't like when you talk to me that way. That's just a conversation to be had. I don't like when you talk to me that way. Okay. And what else? But if you say it like this, if this conversation becomes disrespectful, that's the same as saying, I don't like when you talk to me that way. If this conversation becomes disrespectful, I am going to step away. So that's a boundary you are requesting. You see the difference? You're setting a boundary for them. Your boundary is going to always teach people how to engage with you, what not to do. So always have your boundaries for people, no matter who it is. And it's like sometimes when you start creating like healthier boundaries, people will say, you changed. Okay, have changed. That's cool. But maybe you did change. I say what I say. It's the state of her. Listen on your favorite podcast platform. Follow for real conversations and real growth. But the thing is that maybe you've grown and now you're finally becoming the woman you always needed and wanted to be. So that's changed for the better, right? See, what story are you telling people about yourself? Are you teaching people that you're always available and always okay? do you tell them you don't need help, but you do, and like you handle everything for yourself? Honestly speaking, I used to be like that all the time. I was always okay, even when I wasn't. I didn't need any help, even when I did. I could handle it, even when I couldn't. That was me. I always grew up with that, you know? And I've like always done things on my own. I didn't really need anyone to help me because I knew that I was going to get it myself, whichever way I had to. So I am definitely guilty for that. And I did grow out of that. So right now it's like if I needed help with anything, I would ask. And if you ask me, something wrong or if everything is okay, I'll let you know. But I was never a person that will be like, yeah, this is wrong with me. Ah, da, 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 da. Oh my gosh. No, I'm just like, I'm good. And I can just keep it moving. I just handle it myself and I'm good. So I'm very guilty of that. And a lot of us women are too, whether we admit it or not. I will always say that sometimes the strongest woman, um, they become invisible because everyone always assuming that they don't need anything from them. And that's real talk. Because if you always say that you're okay all the time, you don't need anything, then you're good. But at the same time, you're the woman who always shows up, checks in, and always fixes things. How real is that? And then you feel like, "Yeah, who would checks on me?" But you can't feel that way because you always telling them that you okay. So why they checking on you for? It's like you want to know who pours into you, who like give you positive affirmations, um, who support you. You want that, but people they won't do that because you ain't told them you good. I got this. You have to like remember at time. How many people ask you, how are you really doing? That's too many, right? But you know what? What I told myself many moons ago, like, sometimes we have to stop performing strength and start allowing ourselves to actually be human again, to actually fail again, you know? Like, we teach people how we see ourselves. It's very important the way you speak about yourself. Very important. So you must always pay attention to your own language about yourself. We have like a bad habit of shrinking ourselves of who we are, what we are, and we shouldn't do that because God made us who we are, so be that. But it's like at times, how can you expect others to actually celebrate what you keep minimizing, which is you? Never minimize yourself. Make yourself big, blow yourself up, speak life and positivity over you every single day. And I always say this, I say this every single day. So, and this is a given. Always celebrate your growth. Um, yeah, so and just make sure that you own all your experiences, whether it's good or bad, you know? The woman you are today, she was actually built through every lesson that you've learned, that you've encountered, every mistake, every comeback that came your way. That's what built you today. Do not introduce yourself to this world by your insecurities. Always say to yourself that you are secure in everything that you do. Always, always introduce yourself by your strength because you're a strong woman. I always say, like, feel no shame, feel no guilt about anything because your growth requires your honesty, and that's it. I want you to actually ask yourself a few questions, beautiful. Where have I been ignoring my own needs? You fulfill everyone else's needs, but what needs of your own are you ignoring? Where have you been hoping that someone will change? Because when you hoping that someone will change, you refuse to change your response to others. So how can you hope someone is going to change when you're talking to others reckless, saying unruly things? So how do you think they're going to change? It goes both ways. So like these questions, they aren't meant to hurt you. It's like they're meant to free you and help you grow to become a better you. Because I'm going to say, like, once you recognize your patterns, you can choose new ones moving forward. Beautiful. This is it, right? The goal isn't to become cold to people. It's not. We all want to be loved. We all need to be loved. Doesn't matter who you are. The goal isn't to stop loving people either. The actual goal you should have is to love yourself enough that your relationships, your friendships, and your life actually reflects that love back. The question isn't, why do people treat me this way? It's actually, what am I teaching people about the access, the respect, and the energy that I actually deserve? So today, I want you to remember this. You are allowed to update the way people experience you because we grow every day. I wasn't the same person I was 10 years ago that I am today. And never be afraid to raise your standards. Raise them. This is your life. No one can tell you different. You are always allowed to become someone new, and that's it. So, like, the woman you are becoming, she, her, you actually deserve relationships that recognize your value. That's it. Okay, beautiful. So I would like to thank you for spending this time with me. If this episode resonated with you, share it with another woman who needs this reminder. Leave a review, follow us at the State of Her HQ on Instagram or Facebook. And remember, beautiful, you are worthy of the love, respect, and care you freely give to others. If you don't get that back, move on. Until next time, beautiful, keep becoming her. Bye. The State of Her creates space to reflect, reset, and rise. This is where clarity meets community. Don't miss an episode. Subscribe today on your favorite podcast platform. Follow us on social media at the States of Her HQ.